Hi gang, John with Rock County Jet Ski, watcon.com. Welcome to Watercraft Talk. Today is March 1st, 2024, and I thought I would just do a walk around video of what we're doing here in the shop. I continually hear from you guys, and I appreciate that more than I can say. You guys reaching out, thank you very much with the suggestions and ideas and just telling us what you like. And we hear all the time that you like our walk around videos, and we'll show you what we're working on. So here we are. I thought we're kind of in the middle of some things, and I'll give you some updates and some upcoming videos to be watching for. And I thought we'd just kind of show what we're doing here today in the shop. So I'll come around over here. This is a square nose superjet. It is a 1990. We've got a video on this particular ski. I rescued it. We took it out of a storage unit. It had been sitting for between 15 to 20 years. The guy moved here from Delaware and unfortunately never rode again. Put it away. I picked up this and a Kawasaki. The Kawasaki is gone. This one I'm going through completely, and look for upcoming video on that. We just filmed our nose. We do a nose brace here. I put a flat piece of flat stock across and a piece of angle underneath there. I literally just painted inside of this thing less than an hour ago with bilge coat. So I've got the first coat of bilge coat going on inside, and we're letting that dry, and we'll get another coat in it, and I'm gonna splatter paint it. I'm building I will build a 701 for it. I will show you the engine that came out of it on the bench over there. She's pretty rough, and I'm not gonna try to save that. It's got a lot of things going for it. It's a good solid hull. I was telling the guys, I can't remember the last time I took mats off of a square nose and didn't find it broken here. This one had no cracks at all anywhere in the footwell or the tray area. I glassed it anyway, just because they do break there, and if somebody does get this and start riding it aggressively, we want it to be strong. So I laid some glass in the corners here, and I put some extra matting, thicker mat, in the area where you're landing when you're jumping. So we'll have a full build video on this eventually, but I am working on it as we speak, and I hope to have it back together here relatively soon. I need to go through the steering system yet. It'll get a new steering system and bars, and I've got a lot to do on that one. So there's our 1990 square nose. This one just arrived yesterday. This is one I'm going to say we're going to rescue. This was for sale locally that I was able to purchase from Seth. It is a 91 square nose. He had it running and was riding it a couple of years ago and melted a piston, blew up the engine, number one piston, I think he said, put a top end in it, and then I don't remember if he said he never got it running right, or anyway, what you see is what we got. I'm going to take it all back apart and go through everything on it and make sure that it is all correct. Probably go through the motor again, and I shouldn't say probably, I know I'm going to. We're going to open it up, and I want to make sure the crank is good, and if it's not, I will put a crank in it. He didn't remember even what pistons he put in it, so if they're something that we can use, fine, I will leave them, and if not, I will put something different in it. It's got a lot going for it. Factory Type 9 dry pipe, Riva head. It is truly a 62T 61X Yamaha dual carb superjet engine. Worth saving. Every superjet is really very much worth saving. So Eventually we'll do a build on this, and it will be for sale, not anytime soon. I am going to get the pipe off from it right away, and probably the pipe and the head, and I will sell those to help fund the build. The steering is really stiff. It needs a steering overhaul. It's got a good aftermarket AC pole on it, though. It's got a lot of really good parts, and it seems to be a good solid ski. I think it's gonna be a good boat when we're done. I will leave it a 701, but we'll probably put it back to stock, just because most people that come to us looking to purchase skis are entry level or beginner type riders, especially these square noses, and they don't need an angry arm jerking, try to kill you ski. So we'll put her back to stock, and I'm going to sell off some of the performance parts again to help fund the build. So there is square nose number 2 in the shop. I'll come this way, Chris, and push that over there. This is one that came the other day. This is my good dear friend Rocky. Rocky was one of my original riding buddies from back in the day. Back in the 80s, I met Rocky, probably the mid-80s. This was his ski. It still is. I'm not going to say, I got to stop saying was. It still is. He purchased it brand new. It's a 1981 440. He bought it new, rode it for a while as a 440. Not too long after, he started upgrading parts on it. It now has a 550 engine. This is an Ocean Pro cylinder. It is a piston port cylinder. It's got a West Coast exhaust manifold, West Coast pipe. It has a West Coast water box, dual Mikuni BN series 44 millimeter carburetors. Again, all back from the mid 80s. Rocky was hanging out here a lot in the shop probably 10 years ago or so, and we sparked the interest again, and we pulled this out of storage, and he went through it. We put a crankshaft in it. He did not do a top end. I think he did just rings, and with the original pistons still, put it back together, and he came riding with us, and we had a lot of fun. He has decided, though, and now it's been quite a few years, probably 6-7 years since he's ridden, and he has decided that he is done, and so here's his ski. I'm going to keep it for him, and we'll just put it in with our collection of stuff, and I don't want anybody else to get it. Like I say, I remember back in the day, Rocky has this Japanese red dot painted on there, and you could spot him a mile away, and I always knew when Rocky was out, and I would run, and if I saw him go by on the water, I would run and go grab my gear and go out and ride with him. At the time I was working afternoons or nights even, and we would do a lot of riding during the day. So Rocky was an engineer, and he's actually very intelligent, very, very smart, and thinks outside of the box with a lot of things, and a lot of the things he did on this was his own thoughts or ideas. Interesting is I posted some pictures of this, and he's actually got the original 440 resonator muffler mounted to the outside of the ski. I don't know if he did any testing with that or without it. I know he put it on just to help muffle the noise, and it was quiet, and the ski ran good. I don't know if that's a good thing to do or not, but it's Rocky, and it's kind of cool. It is what it is. There's a bunch of vintage old stickers. This is one of our old, I was originally, before we were Rock County Jet Ski, we were Rad Racing. That would have been back in the 90s, and that's one of my old stickers from early on. So there you are. That gives the ski all kinds of value with collectible stickers like that, right? So Rocky's 440. On the bench over here, we've got an SXR engine awaiting to go into the SXR that we'll show you here in a minute that we're building. This is Yamaha. This is the Yamaha 701 that came out of that square nose. Actually, this is an old school build. This ski was a neat old ski. I originally kind of wanted to save this, and we could build something similar to it. This is just so crusty. I have no interest in saving and or using any of that. But it's a 650 bottom end, honestly. 6M6 bottom end with a 701 cylinder on it. And that was not uncommon to do back in the early days of the 701s. We were putting 701 cylinders on the 650 cases. It works. It's old school. In my opinion, it's not, you know, dual carb. The 62T cases flow much better and will make much more power and are a much better setup. But this is what we did back in the day, and it's just kind of neat because it brings me back to, you know, early 90s, and I like that. But again, this is very, very crusty. It's far from mint, and I won't be building this. But just to show you, so if you go back and if you look at the video where when I bought these skis and we got them out of the storage unit, I thought the motor on this was locked up, and it turns over beautifully. And in fact, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but you can even see crosshatch. And I wasn't smart enough to bring the flashlight with me or anything like that, so and that's not plugged in, but good thought. There's still a crosshatch in there. The cylinder's still probably very usable, very good, other than just being kind of crusty. So it wouldn't turn over, and what it was, we found the midshaft was locked up completely. So that's what it was. You just never know until you start disassembling things. I assume the motor was rusted. The guy I bought it from told me when he put it away, he did not store it properly. He did not fog it. He did not do anything with it. He just stuck it in the storage unit, thinking he'd get it out again one day. And before you know it, 15 or 18 years goes by, and he never touched them. And now they won't turn. And we just assume that it was locked up from rust, but the cylinder and pistons were not. So there's that crusty old 701 that I don't know what we're going to do with yet, but there it is. Probably break it down and a lot of it will go into scrap. I got an SXR, Kawasaki SXR. This is a customer, if again we did a video on the Bendix explosion, this is the ski that goes with that engine. We were waiting, the customer supplied us with an engine that he purchased new. I have taken that apart and it's in great condition, so that I'm going to clean everything up and go through that, but that is going to go into this, and we are just kind of getting started on it. The hull just arrived, or the ski just arrived here a short time ago, and we need to strip this down to nothing. We're going to give it a complete mechanical restoration. I am not going to go to paint with it. It is an old local race ski, and is kind of clapped out, for lack of a better term, and I want to go over every nut and bolt on this thing and just make sure that this is all up to snuff before he gets this back. But we'll have this up and going before spring, and we'll do a video on this one as well when it is done. So there you are. That's what's happening currently in the shop here, March 1st, 2024. I hope you like what you saw. Thank you again for the recommendations and the thoughts. I do sure appreciate it. When you're out and about out there, please be kind to each other. If you like what you saw, please hit the subscribe button. Like, tag, share, and follow us. It really does help our channel grow. If you hit the bell, the notification, you will get notifications when we're posting new videos, and then you know. So that's it for today. Next time, hopefully, we'll see you out on the water.